This story is titled, My Family Banned Me from Christmas Because It's No Place for Losers. I took the hint and cut off my sister's free ride. Now she's spiraling. Hey everyone, before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now, let's start the video. Hi guys. I never thought I'd be writing this. Been sitting on this story for a while, and honestly, it still makes my blood boil thinking about it. I'm Lisa, 34 years old. I work as a mechanical engineer at this manufacturing company. Nothing super fancy, but I do all right for myself. No husband or kids, which according to my family means I have tons of extra money to share. Yeah, you can probably see where this is going. Quick background. It's just me and my sister Sarah, 31. She's married to Mike, and they have 2 kids. Growing up, Sarah was always my parents' favorite. Like, not even trying to hide it. She'd mess up and they'd find some way to excuse it. Failed a class? The teacher was targeting her. Crashed the car? The road was badly designed. Meanwhile, I got decent grades, stayed out of trouble, helped around the house, basically invisible unless Sarah needed something. I thought things would change when we grew up. But nope, Sarah dropped out of college after 2 years, jumped between random jobs, then met Mike. He's actually a good guy, works construction, real hard worker. When Sarah and Mike first got married, they struggled a lot financially. Makes sense. They were super young, and Mike was just starting out in construction. I had just landed my engineering job, so I started helping them out here and there. At first, it was small stuff, grocery money, helping with bills when they came up short. Then it got bigger. Rent money when they were about to get evicted, car repairs, stuff for the kids. I didn't mind helping, honestly. The kids are great, and Mike's the kind of guy who'd give you his last dollar if you needed it. He worked his butt off too, always picking up extra work when he could. Sarah was Sarah. She'd bounce between jobs, never really sticking to anything. Always had some reason why it didn't work out. Everything was pretty normal. Well, our kind of normal anyway. Until about a month before this past Christmas. I'm sitting at work doing some CAD designs for a new project when Sarah calls. She's all excited, talking super fast about how she needs $15,000 for the kids' education fund. Says it's a special program or something, where if you invest now, it doubles by the time they're in college. Right away, something felt off. First, $15,000 is way more than I usually help with. Second, Mike never mentioned anything about starting a college fund, which was weird because he usually talks to me about big financial decisions. When I asked Sarah for more details about this program, she got super defensive. Started saying stuff like, "Don't you care about your niece and nephew's future?" And I thought family was supposed to help family. I tried explaining that $15,000 is a lot to just hand over without more information. Asked her to send me details about the program so I could look it over. I mean, if it's legit, why not? She completely flipped out, started crying, saying I never really cared about them, that I just pretend to help to make myself look good. Then she hung up on me. I tried calling Mike after that but couldn't reach him. Sent him a text asking if everything was okay, but he just replied, "Yeah, all good, just super busy with work." Looking back, I should have pushed harder. Should have told him about Sarah's weird request, but I didn't want to cause problems in their marriage. You know, the next few weeks were strange. Sarah wouldn't answer my calls or texts. My mom called once to ask why I was being difficult with Sarah, but wouldn't give me details about what Sarah told her. Dad just sent this weird text saying family should stick together. I had no idea what was going on, but I figured it would blow over by Christmas. Man, was I wrong about that. I actually spent extra on presents, especially for the kids. Got Tommy this awesome remote control car he'd been talking about for months, and found this art set Emily wanted. Even got Mike some new work boots because I knew his were wearing out. Wrapped everything up nice. Even bought some extra generic presents in case anyone brought unexpected guests. I remember driving to my parents' house on Christmas thinking about how excited the kids would be opening their presents. So there I was, standing on my parents' front porch on Christmas morning. Had 2 bags full of presents, even wore that stupid Christmas sweater Mom got me last year. I rang the doorbell and waited, thinking about how the kids would react to their gifts. Dad opened the door, and I instantly knew something was wrong. He had this weird look on his face, like when he's mad but trying not to show it. Before I could even say, "Merry Christmas," he just goes, "We don't want you here this year." I legit thought he was joking. Like, my dad makes bad dad jokes all the time, so I started laughing. That's when Sarah appeared behind him and said, "This is no place for losers. You're really starting to wear on all of us. I'm not even kidding." Those were her exact words. My own sister, who I've helped support for years, called me a loser right to my face on Christmas morning. Mom was there too, standing in the background pretending to fix some Christmas decorations or whatever. She wouldn't even look at me. You know what's funny? She was wearing the necklace I got her for her birthday last year, the one Sarah told everyone she bought. Even though I have the receipt saved because it was expensive and I needed it for insurance, I just stood there like an idiot for a minute, still holding these bags of presents. My brain couldn't process what was happening. Like, was this really happening on Christmas? The worst part wasn't even Sarah's smug face or Dad's angry one. It was seeing Mike through the window, sitting on the couch, looking totally exhausted. Guy looked like he hadn't slept in days. The kids were somewhere inside. I could hear them playing and laughing. No idea their aunt was getting kicked out of Christmas. I wish I could say I made some epic speech or stood up for myself, but honestly, I just said, "Fine, if that's how you feel," and walked back to my car, put the presents in the trunk, still wrapped. They're still sitting in my spare room, actually. But then I got mad, like really mad. Not the yelling kind of mad, but that cold kind where your brain gets super clear. I decided I wasn't leaving without knowing what the hell was going on. So I went back. Didn't even knock this time, just walked in. Sarah was lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone like nothing happened. Mom was in the kitchen, probably stress baking, her solution to everything. Dad was trying to help Tommy set up some toy he got. I asked straight up, "What's going on? Why am I suddenly not welcome at Christmas?" Sarah didn't even look up from her phone. Just goes, "You really don't get it, do you?" "After what you did?" "What exactly did I do?" I asked. That's when she started this whole speech about how I never help them anymore, how I bought a new car instead of helping her family. It's a used Honda, by the way, nothing fancy, and how I refused to invest in the kids' future when they really needed it. Mike looked so uncomfortable during all this. He kept glancing between Sarah and me like he wanted to say something but couldn't. I just thought he was trying to avoid drama. My parents just sat there letting Sarah talk. Mom actually nodded along a few times, which hurt more than anything Sarah was saying. Dad finally spoke up with, "But you did buy that new car." Like that justified everything. I tried explaining that the car was on credit, that I'd spent a ton on Christmas presents, that I'd been helping them for years, but Sarah just talked over me, saying I was lying, that I never helped them, that I always made excuses. The crazy thing, my parents believed her. Every single word. Years of bank statements showing transfers to Sarah's account. Years of receipts for stuff I bought their kids. None of it mattered, because Sarah said it didn't happen. I looked at the kids playing in the corner with their new toys, probably stuff Sarah claimed she bought, and something in me just broke, I guess. Not in a bad way, but like breaking free from something. I realized this wasn't about Christmas or presents or even money. This was about something else entirely. I just said, "You know what? You're right. I don't belong here. Enjoy your Christmas." Then I looked right at Sarah and added, "And good luck with those special investment programs of yours." The look on her face, just for a second, she looked scared. That's when I knew for sure something bigger was going on. So I left off at Christmas Day. I sat in my car for like 20 minutes just staring at nothing. You know when something happens and your brain just keeps replaying it over and over? Yeah, that. I kept thinking about Mike's tired face, Sarah's smug expression, my mom not even looking at me. My phone kept buzzing. Turned out my cousin Jenny was trying to reach me. She was supposed to come to Christmas dinner and wanted to know if I was still going. I texted back, "Don't bother, I'm not welcome this year." She called right away, wanting details, but I wasn't ready to talk about it. I drove home and spent the rest of Christmas Day doing what any 34-year-old engineer does when her family kicks her out. I opened up Excel. Yeah, laugh all you want, but I needed to see everything laid out. Started going through my bank statements from the past few years, making a spreadsheet of every time I helped Sarah and Mike. The numbers were insane, like actually insane. Over the past 3 years alone, $4,800 for emergency rent when they were about to get evicted, $2,300 for car repairs, $3,500 for Tommy's dental work, around $6,000 in smaller stuff like groceries, bills, school supplies, $2,000 for Emily's special therapy sessions. Still don't know if those were real. That's not even counting all the presents, clothes, and random stuff I bought for the kids directly, or the money I gave them in cash when Sarah said they needed it right away. The more I added up, the angrier I got. Not because of the money itself. I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but I make good money, and I love those kids. It was about Sarah telling everyone I never helped them. About my parents believing her. About Mike working doubles at his construction job while Sarah was asking me for $15,000 for some fake investment thing. Then I remembered something weird. A few months back, I ran into Mike at Home Depot. He was buying some tools for work, and I offered to help pay because good tools are expensive. He looked confused and said, "Nah, Lisa, I got it. I know things have been tight for you lately." At the time, I thought he was just being nice. But now I was wondering what Sarah told him about me. About all the money I'd given them. I tried calling Mike, but it went straight to voicemail. Texted him too. "Hey, we need to talk about what happened today. Call me when you can." He never did. Sarah must have been watching her phone, though, because she started texting me right away. "Stop trying to cause problems. You're just jealous because Mom and Dad love me more. Maybe if you weren't such a selfish jerk, you'd still be welcome at Christmas. The kids don't even miss you." That last one hurt, not going to lie. I didn't respond to any of her texts. Instead, I kept going through my records. Found all the emails where Sarah asked for money, all the transfer receipts, everything. Even had some texts saved where she thanked me for helping. Yeah, I save important texts. Sue me. I'm an engineer. We like documentation. The weird thing was, looking at the dates, Sarah always asked for the biggest amounts of money right after Mike got a raise or picked up extra work. Like she knew there'd be more money coming in and wanted to grab it before he saw it. Then I found something that made my stomach turn. Remember that $15,000 she wanted for the kids' education fund? Well, I found an old email from Mike from about 2 years ago, talking about how he'd started a 529 account for both kids. He was so proud about putting away $100 from every paycheck. Sarah knew about those accounts. She knew they already had college funds set up. So what did she want that $15,000 for? That's when my phone lit up with a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was Amy, Mike's sister. All it said was, "You need to know what's really going on. Can we meet?" It was weird how she reached out to me, but I agreed to meet at this little coffee shop near my work. Amy showed up looking seriously stressed. First thing she says is, "Mike doesn't know I'm here." Then she pulls out this folder, and I'm thinking, great, more documentation. My kind of person, to be honest. Turns out Amy works at the bank where Sarah and Mike have their accounts. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that confidential information? That's exactly what Amy said. She was really nervous about the whole thing, but said she couldn't stay quiet anymore after what she'd seen. According to Amy, Sarah had been opening separate accounts without Mike's knowledge. Every time I sent them money for emergencies, Sarah would only use a small part for whatever she claimed she needed it for. The rest went straight into these secret accounts. But here's the really messed up part. Sarah had been telling Mike that I stopped helping them years ago, that I got too fancy with my engineering job and forgot about family. Mike was working himself to death with extra shifts because he thought they were on their own. Amy showed me some bank statements. Yeah, probably breaking some rules, but I'm grateful she did. They showed Sarah withdrawing large amounts of cash right after I'd send money for specific things. Like when I sent $3,500 for Tommy's dental work, only $800 actually went to the dentist. The rest? Poof. I asked Amy why she was telling me all this. She started crying right there in the coffee shop. Said Mike's been working 60 to 70-hour weeks, thinking they're barely making ends meet. Meanwhile, Sarah's secret accounts had over $40,000 in them. $40,000. That's not just emergency money or a shopping fund. That's runaway money. I felt like such an idiot. All those times Sarah needed money for the kids, for bills, for emergencies. I was basically funding her escape plan without knowing it. And poor Mike was working doubles thinking they were struggling. Then Amy dropped another bomb. Sarah had been asking about moving money internationally, had been researching countries with weak extradition laws. I had to Google what that meant. Basically, places where it's hard to force someone to come back. I must have looked pretty shell-shocked because Amy kept apologizing for telling me. But she said after hearing about Christmas, she couldn't keep quiet anymore. She was worried about Mike and the kids. I asked her why she didn't tell Mike directly. She said she tried hinting at it, but Mike totally trusted Sarah, would probably think Amy was just trying to cause trouble. That's why she came to me instead. We spent like 2 hours in that coffee shop going over everything. The more we talked, the more obvious it became. Sarah wasn't just stealing from me. She was setting up her escape. That $15,000 she wanted? Probably the final amount she needed to disappear. When I got home that night, I had 3 missed calls from Sarah and a text saying, "Hope you're happy with yourself. Mom's been crying because of you." Classic Sarah. Try to make me feel guilty while she's literally planning to abandon her family. I didn't sleep at all that night. Kept thinking about Mike working those extra shifts, about Tommy and Emily, and how Sarah was planning to just leave them, and how I was funding all that, about my parents who still weren't talking to me because they believed Sarah's lies. The next morning, I called my company's lawyer. Figured I needed professional advice before doing anything. This was way bigger than just family drama. So, my company's lawyer, let's call her Linda, looked over everything I had. Bank statements, texts, emails, the whole thing. She said I should talk to Mike directly, but be careful about mentioning what Amy told me, since that info wasn't exactly obtained legally. I was trying to figure out how to approach Mike when Sarah made things easier by showing up at my house unannounced. Just started pounding on my door in the middle of my work from home day. I was literally on a Zoom call about a new project when she showed up. I muted myself, told my coworkers I had a family emergency, and opened the door. Sarah looked totally different from Christmas. Messy hair, no makeup, wearing sweatpants, not her usual put-together self. She barged right in and started going off about how I was ruining everything. Kept saying stuff like, "Why couldn't you just help like you always do?" And, "Do you know how hard this has been?" I just let her rant. Figured maybe she'd slip up and reveal something. She did. "Mike's being impossible," she said. "He's talking about cutting back his hours because he's tired all the time. I needed that money, and you ruined everything by saying no." That's when I asked her straight up, "What money, Sarah? The $15,000 for the kids' education fund that they already have?" She froze for a second, just stared at me, then tried to backtrack. "That's different. This was for a special program." "What program?" I asked. "Because Mike started 529 accounts for both kids 2 years ago. He told me about it himself." She changed tactics real quick. Started crying, saying she was just trying to do what's best for the family, that I didn't understand how hard things were. I lost it, not going to lie. Said something like, "Hard for who? Mike's working 70-hour weeks while you're opening secret bank accounts." The look on her face, man, that's when I knew Amy was right about everything. Sarah got real quiet. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You don't know what it's like being stuck here. I never wanted any of this." "Any of what?" I asked. "Your husband who works himself to death for you? Your kids who adore you? The sister who's been bankrolling your secret escape fund?" She didn't even deny it, just said, "They're better off without me anyway." I pulled out my phone and played the audio recording of our entire conversation. "Yeah, I recorded it. Linda advised me to record any interactions with Sarah." "You sure about that?" I asked her. "Because I bet Mike would be really interested in hearing what you just said." Sarah lost it, started screaming that I had no right, that I was trying to ruin her life, that she'd tell everyone I was lying. Then she said she'd tell Mike I tried to hit on her if I showed him the recording. I just laughed, told her to go ahead. I had years of proof about the money, the secret accounts, everything. "Ask yourself," I said, "how you're going to explain all that to Mike and our parents." She ran out of my house crying, slammed the door so hard my neighbor texted to ask if everything was okay. I sat down at my desk, hands shaking, and sent the recording to the lawyer. She called me right away and said, "Don't do anything yet, give me 24 hours. Then my phone started blowing up. Sarah had called my parents. Mom left this long voicemail about how I was bullying Sarah, how I'd always been jealous of her, how I was trying to destroy her marriage. Dad just texted, "Your mother's upset. Fix this." Like I was the problem. My lawyer called me the next morning saying she'd gotten a weird call. Mike had contacted his own lawyer, who then reached out to her. Apparently, he'd found something in their banking stuff that didn't add up and started digging. We set up a meeting at my lawyer's office, just me, Linda, Mike, and his lawyer, no Sarah. Walking into that meeting was super weird. Mike looked like he'd aged 10 years since Christmas. Before anyone said anything, Mike pulled out a folder and put it on the table. "I found these last night," he said. Turned out Sarah had messed up, left her email open on their shared computer. Mike found emails about international bank transfers, and one of them mentioned my name. He'd gone through their bank records after that and found, well, everything. All the times I'd sent money that he never knew about. All the withdrawals Sarah made right after. The secret accounts Amy had told me about. That's when Linda played the recording from my conversation with Sarah. Mike just sat there, getting paler and paler. When it got to the part where Sarah said, "They're better off without me anyway," he put his head in his hands. His lawyer asked me some questions about the money I'd given them. I showed them my spreadsheet. My engineer brain finally came in handy. The total was way bigger than even I'd realized. Mike looked sick when he saw the number. "We've been living paycheck to paycheck," he said. "I had to take out a loan last year for Tommy's school supplies. Where did all this money go?" His lawyer had an answer for that. They'd traced some transfers to accounts in other countries. Sarah had been planning this for years, setting up accounts, researching places to go, even had a separate email account where she'd been talking to some guy about starting fresh. Yeah, turns out there was another guy, some dude she met online who lived in a country with no extradition treaty with the U.S. Learned that term from Amy. Sarah had been planning to take the money and disappear with him. Mike just sat there for a minute after hearing all this. Then he asked me, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I tried explaining how Sarah always made it seem like he knew about the money, how she'd say they discussed it together, how whenever I tried talking to him directly, she'd have some reason why it wasn't a good time. "Some sister you are," he said, but not in a mean way, more like he was realizing how much Sarah had played both of us. The lawyers talked about next steps. Mike's guy was already working on divorce papers. Linda was helping document everything for when it went to court. They both said not to confront Sarah yet. Let the legal stuff get sorted first. Walking out of that meeting was rough. Mike stopped me in the parking lot. "Those extra shifts," he said. "Sarah told me they were for a surprise family vacation. I was trying to save up to take the kids to Disney World." I didn't know what to say to that. Just watched him get in his truck and drive away. Got home to find like 20 missed calls from Sarah and a bunch of texts from my parents about how I needed to stop causing trouble. They still had no idea what was really going on. But the worst part? A text from Sarah. "I know Mike met with you. Don't make me tell everyone what you really did." She was still trying to threaten her way out of it. Still thought she could manipulate everyone. Still didn't care who she hurt. That's when I realized my sister was actually gone. The person sending these threats. That wasn't the Sarah I grew up with. Maybe she never was. Then one morning, Mike texts me. "Taking the kids to my mom's for the weekend. Sarah's going to some spa thing with her friends." Except Sarah wasn't really going to a spa. Mike knew she was meeting that guy she'd been talking to online. She was planning to check out some property with him. Yeah, right. So, while Sarah was off doing whatever with this dude, Mike packed up everything important. And I mean everything. Documents, kids' stuff, family photos, everything they'd need. His brother and some friends from work helped him move it all to a house he'd been secretly renting. The kids thought they were just going on a fun trip with Dad. Mike told them they were going on an adventure and would be staying somewhere new for a while. They were actually excited about it. I helped too. Took a day off work to help move furniture and stuff. Felt weird being in their house, seeing all the things I'd helped pay for. Found some of the toys I bought the kids that Sarah had said they lost. Mike found more stuff while packing. Hidden credit cards, a passport we didn't know about, even a burner phone. Sarah had been planning this for way longer than any of us realized. The whole time we're moving, I kept waiting for Sarah to show up and catch us, but she was too busy with her spa weekend to check in. Just sent Mike a few texts about how nice it was to relax for once and how he wouldn't believe how fancy this place was. We got everything moved in 2 days. Mike even had time to get the kids' room set up all nice so it wouldn't feel too scary for them. He hung up their favorite posters, made their beds with their favorite sheets, put their toys exactly how they like them. The lawyers had everything ready too. Divorce papers, custody filings, everything. They even had proof Sarah was with this other guy, thanks to a PI Mike's lawyer hired. Guess that's standard in divorce cases. Then we waited. Sarah came home Sunday night to an almost empty house. She called Mike right away, screaming about being robbed. He just told her, "Check your email. My lawyer sent you some papers to sign." She showed up at my house at like 11 p.m., totally losing it. Kept screaming about how we planned this, how we were trying to ruin her life, how she'd tell everyone what horrible people we were. I just recorded everything again. Thanks, Linda, for that advice, and told her to talk to Mike's lawyer. She tried to push past me into my house, but my security camera caught that too. The next morning, Sarah started calling everyone, told our parents Mike had kidnapped the kids, told her friends I'd threatened her, told Mike's boss he was stealing company tools. He wasn't, had receipts for everything. Nobody believed her this time. Mike had already talked to their friends, his work, even our parents. Showed them proof of everything, the hidden accounts, the affair emails, the plans to leave. Mom called me crying, apologizing for not believing me at Christmas. Dad sent this long text about how sorry he was, but honestly, it felt kind of empty at that point. Sarah's still trying to spin it like she's the victim. Keeps posting on Facebook about how her family betrayed her and how the truth will come out, but she's running out of people who will listen. The kids are doing okay. They miss their mom, but Mike got them into therapy right away. They're actually doing better now that they're not living in all that tension. And yeah, it's been about 3 months since everything went down. Sarah's still around, still causing drama, but honestly, nobody really listens to her anymore. She tried moving back in with our parents after her plan failed, but even they had limits after seeing all the proof. Speaking of our parents, yeah, that's been interesting. After all their apologies and crying about how sorry they were, guess what? They asked for money. Said they wanted to help Sarah get back on her feet and needed $20,000. I just laughed and told them I'm done being the family ATM. They didn't like that answer. Dad got all huffy about how family helps family. Where was that energy at Christmas? Mom tried guilt-tripping me about how Sarah's their daughter and they have to help her. I just told them they can help her with their own money. Haven't heard much from them since. Mike and the kids are doing really good, actually. He switched to a better-paying construction job that lets him work normal hours. The divorce stuff is still going through the courts. Sarah's trying to fight it, but she doesn't have much of a case. Her lawyer quit when she couldn't pay the bills. Wonder where all that money she hid went. Now she's telling everyone she can't afford a lawyer, and we're taking advantage of her. Yeah, right. The money thing's still being investigated. Police got involved because of how much she took, but these things move super slow. The good news is Mike won't be responsible for any of the debt Sarah racked up once they found out she hid it from him. The kids ask about Sarah sometimes, but not as much anymore. Their therapist says that's normal. They have video calls with her once a week, but half the time she cancels or forgets. Mike says they're usually happier on the days she cancels. Remember that guy Sarah was going to run away with? He blocked her on everything once he realized she didn't have access to all that money anymore. Now she's telling everyone he was just a friend who was helping her escape an abusive situation. Nobody's buying it. I still help Mike and the kids sometimes, but it's different now. Everything's out in the open. He keeps real careful records of anything I help with, and he's already paid back some of it. Told him he doesn't have to, but he says it's important to him. Last week, Tommy lost his first tooth. Mike sent me a picture right away. Kid was so proud of himself. Guess who didn't respond when he sent her the same picture? Yeah. The weirdest part of all this? I actually feel better now that everything's out in the open. Yeah, I lost my sister. Or maybe never really had the sister I thought I did. And things with my parents are pretty messed up. But at least it's all real now. No more lies, no more secrets, no more being manipulated. A few days ago, Mike invited me over for Tommy's birthday party. Sarah was supposed to come, but canceled last minute. Big surprise. You know what Tommy said? That's okay. Aunt Lisa's here and she never misses anything. Kids got me figured out, I guess. Edit. Thanks for all the awards, but seriously, save your money. If you want to do something nice, go help someone who actually needs it. Just maybe check that they're not planning to run away with your money first. LOL. And edit 2. Stop asking me to adopt you as my sibling. My family funding days are over. Edit 3. Yes, I eventually donated most of those Christmas presents. Kept the ones for the kids, though. They really love that remote control car and art set.